I went from completely messing up my JEE mains to joining Google and getting promoted within a year. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how I got into Google and the mindset you need to have to make it. I will be jumping straight into the topic. This video is divided into 5 sections. First, I'll be talking about my JEE mains exam experience. Next up is college and how communities actually changed everything in my life's trajectory. I will talk a bit about how I got my first internship at Goldman Sachs off campus and the pre-placement offer. I will not be going into detail for these because it will take up a while, and in this video I will be focusing on my journey to Google. Finally, I will be talking in detail of how I moved to Google. Things that helped me in my journey and that can change the dynamics for you too. First, I'll be talking about my JEE mains exam experience. So I used to be among the toppers in my class and was academically very strong since childhood. I was used to the attention and being the best in my class until I joined JEE mains coaching. Yes, all my pride and superiority complex I had growing up due to my strong academics was shattered. Suddenly, I was not even in the top 100. Everyone seemed to be better than me. I remember 2 years flying by and I got a 5-digit rank. For a person who was always used to being in the top 3, a 60,000 plus rank in JEE mains was crazy. I remember getting into a college in my state initially. After the state engineering exam, I joined this college, and the very first day I went to this college, I got to know I have been accepted into the local IIIT. I instantly knew that this is what I had to choose. My reason was exposure to people with different backgrounds and cultures. I was a bit saturated with people from my current culture. I felt meeting new people would open up my mind to newer opportunities. Now, IIIT was an amazing experience. I have had good and bad learning experiences in college, but I'm grateful for every single one of them. That is the reason why I am where I am today. I was not around a lot of motivated people in college. My IIIT was not one of the top ones. I was struggling the entire time, but I found a few people who inspired me and were motivated to achieve their goals, and I made sure to keep them around. When I didn't have people around during COVID, I joined online communities and actually put myself out there. I made lasting connections that finally got me my first job at Goldman Sachs and from there to Google. The reason for telling you this story is to give you the picture on how important the people around you are. You are an average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. For me, I consciously shifted the people I chose to give my energy to. I applied to Google in college. My resume didn't get shortlisted. I tried to do well in CodeJam and Kickstart. Wasn't able to get success there. I did several internships. One of my friends was doing a mobile dev internship for 10,000 rupees a month, and that is a lot of money for a student. A lot. I reached out, but I was offered a marketing internship instead. I felt bad. I felt that this discrimination is because I am female and they don't think I can do a coding job. I was not sure what the issue was. However, I still kept going. I gave my complete best to this marketing internship. And guess what happened? I was in a call with the team and one of them casually mentioned how Goldman Sachs is having its hiring program off campus. I had no idea that something like that was out there. Now, I will tell you the truth. I really didn't imagine in a million years that out of 2 lakh plus students that applied, I would be one of the ones making it to the final 40. That is insane, right? But that is what happened. By this time, I had gotten another internship from Internshala, an NLP internship. I was learning so much. Even though the pay was not a lot, I knew I was gaining valuable experience that would propel my career forward. How I got into Goldman Sachs off campus will be a separate story, but when I went through 2 major screening rounds and 3 interviews, I felt really good. Now, there are several things I would say that made a difference. My resume being a certain way, the previous internships I did, and also being a IIITian. I personally believe that these few things might have given me some edge along with my DSA prep and positive mindset. Until I got my internship, I had never reached the interview stages for Google, but after interning in Goldman and getting the pre-placement offer, a Google recruiter reached out to me. She gave me context on the interview process, how to prepare, what to expect, and so on. I was super excited. I told my mom. The recruiter asked me how long I needed, and I took 10 days' time to prepare. This, I say, was a rookie mistake. There was no way I would have refreshed all the required DSA concepts in 10 days since I had been out of touch after I got the internship. Even though this was a dream opportunity, I was debating if I should even give it a go, knowing that it would be uncomfortable and I would have to work hard to get up to speed all over again. But I decided to shoot my shot and failed miserably, completely. I got a medium level DP question that went in the completely wrong direction of solving it. The interviewer was super nice. He tried to help me out with hints, and I could see that they genuinely want for you to solve the problem, regardless of what the interview outcome was. I was completely embarrassed and couldn't wait for the time to end. Fast forward to 2 days, to the weekend, I sat with the question and solved it in 10 minutes. That's when I broke down and cried because I realized that it was doable. If I had practiced enough and kept a level head, I would have solved it. I would have made it through. And that honestly broke my heart. However, it was time for me to leave for my 6-month internship at Goldman Sachs in Bangalore. This honestly was one of the most fun times of my life. I met some amazing people, explored new food places in the city, and lived a life full of freedom. This was the first time I was staying away from my parents in a different city. I really liked the initial freedom of ordering whatever I want, anytime, staying out late, but slowly realized how most of those things are actually escapism and don't really give you real happiness in the long run. No judgment if you are in that phase right now, and that is a really good phase in life, but in my case, the happiness didn't last long. So a few months later, around in September, I received a call from a Google recruiter, again asking if I was interested in interviewing. Now this is the time when I was finally settled in my team and I was getting to traveling a lot more. I found my happiness in traveling and being in nature, and taking up this challenge would mean sitting long hours at a desk in my room studying DSA in addition to existing office work and responsibilities. However, growth happens when you put yourself in uncomfortable situations, and I took up the challenge. This time I asked for the maximum time I could get, and I took a month. The screening went pretty well, and I got through to the actual interview rounds for the first time. I also took another month to prepare for these interview rounds. The first interview was a DP question, and believe me when I tell you, I knew the exact solution when I saw that question. I was like, yes, this is it, I got this. I gave the solution to the interviewer right away, and he had some more questions. How did you arrive at the solution? Why did you do what you did? What is the thought process? I was adamant and started writing code to explain my logic. The solution I had provided was correct. It was the most optimized solution. After the interview, I felt great that I was able to solve a medium hard DP question and under pressure. The next round also went extremely well. I was very optimistic. However, the result was unexpected. I got awesome feedback for the second interview and negative for the first one. The one I had thought I had aced and didn't understand why this could have happened. I was angry and disappointed. I spoke about this with the recruiter, who said he would give me an opportunity to take additional interviews to decide, and 2 more rounds were scheduled. This was around end of the year, and I think I'd actually given up hope during that time. I did not work hard enough. I know I should have given myself some grace, as I was doing a full-time job, but I truly feel it wasn't my best effort, and that is why I messed up both of the following interviews that were scheduled. They were more design focused. I remember being confused on how we code stacks and queues in Python, and ended up using lists for both. In hindsight, it's completely unacceptable. If you have been coding in Python for long, you would know that you must use collections or DQ. There were also some fundamental things I missed, like the functions for OS path joins in Python, things that I should definitely have studied and practiced. Even when going into these interviews, I felt I was not prepared enough, but I still decided to see it through for myself. And this is where everything changed. I did not get in this time, but I did not know that all these things, these exact specific things that went wrong this time, would be the reason why I would make it through the next year. I am a person who believes in the fact that God has the best plan, Everything is happening in my favor and every situation is pushing me to be my higher self. Hence, even though I felt bad, I didn't feel as bad this time as I felt the previous time. Even though I felt I could have done better, I decided I am going to treat this as a stepping stone to success. In the meantime, a few months later, I was reached out by a recruiter for an application engineer role and I said no to that opportunity. Now comes the fun part, the third time. It was mid-year and I was truly enjoying work in GS, loving my work and my team, and wasn't thinking of a team change at all. However, it had been a month since I had started doing DSA again just because I felt like it. I was also planning to post on Medium actively again and I had recorded several DSA tutorials for the same. Fast forward 2 months and a Google recruiter called me. This time, it felt different, as if something had changed inside me. I had become a different person. I had a very calming feeling inside knowing that this time I will make it. This is the moment after the call came. I was also feeling that my energy had been pretty high the last few days and I could feel the universe is working in my favor. I allowed myself to receive and stay in these high vibrations. Usually, in such cases, we are tempted to downplay ourselves and tell people that, oh, I am never going to make it. It is too hard. It is too complicated. I am never going to make it. But this time, I found myself telling my inner self that I know I am getting into Google. Through all these years of failures, something inside me had changed. I was at peace with myself and I was not scared to fail anymore. I was not attached to the outcome anymore. This time, I was also able to tell my parents that I am giving Google interviews. The previous times, I didn't even tell them. I thought and gave myself that reason that they will be disappointed if I fail and if I don't make it. So I just decided to not tell them in the first place. But through self-love and meditations for the last year, I realized I was scared to fail and disappoint them. It was important for me to get over this blocker as these things do block your energy. Talking to my mom about this made me feel incredibly lighter and gave me so much more positive energy. My mom and dad gave me so much support. As I said, this time felt different. I sailed smoothly through the screening round, which was, by the way, the hardest interview I've ever given yet. It was a lead code hard, but an interview I had failed last year had a similar question, and that is when I took it upon myself to master that DSA concept. This time, it was amazing. I knew exactly what to do, and that was not something that I had learned. It's just the logic just came to me naturally instead of me having to force it. I was genuinely enjoying that interview. I was genuinely enjoying solving that problem. Okay, so the next two interviews went really well too, and I was feeling amazing. Next, I had the final interview, and honestly, this time I was mentally exhausted. The interviewer did not show up due to some issue, and I had a little breakdown because it had been almost 3 months of effort and I was exhausted by that time. That interview got rescheduled. Things went well till towards the end when there was some confusion with the actual question and that scared me. I remember asking the universe that I really want this to work and I want to make it through. I had another behavioral interview after. Fast forward to a couple of days later, the recruiter gives me feedback on all the interviews and also mentions that my resume was rejected by one hiring manager. I went home that day, revamped my resume and reached out to the recruiter with the updated version. That's when I got 2 interview calls scheduled. This was great. Funny story, the day I was having my final call, an unexpected power cut happened. And this had never happened before where I live. Somehow, Ganesh Chaturthi was around a month ago and I had gotten some candles then. So I lit 20 of these small candles and sat for the interview, and I remember the person that came in was very jolly and said, seems like it's night time or like time to sleep for you. And at that time I was I did not know what to do because it was a dark room. I'm trying to, talk to a person to like probably basically I'm interviewing for a role and then the background is dark and like there's just candles. So I kind of initially was a little skeptical, but as I went on, I realized, oh, this can't block me. This cannot, like, I cannot let this come in my way. I deal with it. This is what it is. I deal with it. And that's how I feel things changed again. Something inside me changed, and that's why my reality and things around me started changing. So now, 2 years ago, the old me would be completely anxious in this state, thinking a million thoughts like, what if they judge me on this, or I don't get selected because of my background? And the new me was used to unexpected situations and took her best shot. She went in with the positive energy and got in. That's it. I realize over these years that our reality is merely a reflection of our world within. We reflect every single one of our thoughts into the outside world. Every single negative thought you decide to accept and let go, and you replace it with a positive one, a hopeful one. That is what makes the difference. It's all in the mindset. I have to tell you, when I was choosing colleges, I was comparing, like, I have to tell you as a final thought that when I was choosing colleges, I had just given my JEE mains and it wasn't really good. I was comparing two colleges thinking that this one has an average package of 3 lakhs per annum, that is 3 lakhs per year, and the other has 3.7, so I will go to the 3.7 college. That was my criteria of choosing. And the college that I went to, the highest package till date there was 6 lakhs per annum, and that was really my dream. That was like such a dream for all of us in that college. And as a student coming from a lower middle class family, 3 LPA was also a dream come true. Any job would change my life. I went from doing my first internship in college, which gave me 750 rupees per month, to finally earning a lakh per month for the last internship I did. And it is still nothing short of a dream. I watched as the dream I hadn't even dared to dream came true. And I know why this happened. Because I have been so happy in my present reality. The universe gives you more of what you are already experiencing. You are choosing to experience and surrounding yourself with. It is a conscious choice to be happy every day. It is. You can choose to be happy in this very moment. And with that said, I would like to conclude this video. There are a lot of more things that I would love to talk about. Journaling, manifestation, more things, studying, DSA, things that helped me reach Google, and not even Google, it's just being at peace with who I am. And I would love to talk about all of that, and I'll be talking about it in the next video. So everyone requested a video on how I got into Google, so this is why I made this. So let me know what you folks want to hear next, and I will make a video on that. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day. If you were hearing till here and you watched this video, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, and subscribe to my channel for more such videos and motivation, and keep those questions coming my way. I'm super excited to begin this new journey, and yeah, have an amazing day.